from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
The Henrico School Board discusses when a return to in-person learning could happen and kills its countywide redistricting plan for now. That's all part of today's Henrico News Minute on a busy Friday, September 25th, 2020. Today's News Minute is brought to you by Henrico Area Mental Health.
And now for the news.
A return to in-person learning in some form for students who choose it is possible during the second 9 weeks of the school year in Henrico, but encouraging COVID-19 trends in the region must prove sustainable for that to happen, according to the Henrico Schools Health Committee. HCPS Chief of Staff Beth Tigan told the school board during its work session yesterday, quote, "I think we are close to where return is possible," end quote. But she indicated that such a move would require the number of COVID-19 cases to decline and also would require the consistent use of personal protective equipment in buildings as well as compliance with other requirements. Now, recent data shows decreasing numbers for Henrico-specific COVID cases, but a larger Central Virginia region composed of 7 health districts stretching all the way to North Carolina continues to be classified as facing a substantial risk of community transmission, Tigan said. That's according to a burden scale that the school system is using to evaluate a variety of COVID metrics. But during yesterday's update, Tigan did not provide that burden score for the region, saying only that the burden is still in the high range. During her previous 2 updates in the past month, she indicated that the score was 16 out of a possible 24, just at the bottom of the high range. The Health Committee will make a recommendation to the school board at its October 22nd meeting about how it believes the school system should operate during the second 9-week grading period, which begins November 16th. You can read much more of our coverage of this issue at henricocitizen.com by clicking Education. Also at yesterday's school board meeting, the board opted to punt on the comprehensive redistricting process that it had begun last September in favor of examining several individual problems in time for the start of school next fall. Then it intends to again take up the countywide redistricting plan in time for the start of 2022 school year. But the most urgent needs right now for the school system, the board agreed, are figuring out how to redistrict Holiday Elementary School, which is doubling in size in time for the 2021-22 school year. Brooklyn District member Christy Kinsella suggested that it be used to serve 218 pre-K students in that district. The board also wants to address overcrowding in Colonial Trail and River's Edge elementary schools in the Three Chop district and address inequity at Quioccasin Middle School, which has a much higher rate of students who receive free and reduced lunches compared with other middle schools in the district. School system officials will present potential strategies to identify those 3 hotspots at the board's October 8th meeting. The school board intends to finalize a plan for those hotspots by January and then turn its focus back to a countywide redistricting plan. Read more about this issue on henricocitizen.com by clicking Education. Well, if you have children in kindergarten through 12th grade, we'd like to hear from you about how school is going so far. Take our Back in School survey and let us know. It's a brief survey. You can find it on henricocitizen.com by clicking on Education. U.S. Congressman Donald McEachin, whose 4th district includes the eastern half of Henrico County, is seeking feedback from parents and teachers in the district about their virtual learning experiences so far this school year. You can find a link to the survey McEachin has opened on henricocitizen.com by clicking Government or Education. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam yesterday announced a program that will provide financial help to Virginia landlords whose tenants have been unable to pay their rent during the COVID-19 pandemic. The state is expanding its rent and mortgage relief program, which launched at the end of June with $50 million in federal CARES Act funding. Landlords now can apply to receive financial assistance for current and past due rental payments dating back to April on behalf of their tenants who qualify for the program. A federal moratorium on evictions from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is currently in place through the end of this year. To submit a landlord-initiated application for funding, visit virginiahousing.com/RMRP. And good news on the unemployment front in Henrico County as well, where during the most recent reporting week, initial unemployment claims rose just slightly but remained relatively stable for the fifth straight week, while the number of people filing continuing claims dropped by more than 600. It was the fifth straight week that continuing claims in the county have declined from almost 10,500 during the week that ended August 15th to just 7,200 during the most recent reporting week, which ended September 19th. During the most recent week, a total of 278 county residents filed first-time unemployment claims. That was up from 263 the previous week. Well, more good news yesterday as it relates to COVID-19 in Henrico County. The county is now down to its lowest ever 7-day positivity percentage of 4.1% as of September 20th, the most recent date for which that information is available. That percentage has fallen from 7.2% just 10 days earlier. Nominations are now being accepted for the annual REB Awards for Distinguished Educational Leadership, which honors local principals. The awards are sponsored by the Community Foundation, and they identify, recognize, and support leadership excellence in the Richmond area by providing selected principals with an unrestricted $10,000 cash grant as well as $20,000 to be used for initiatives at their schools. Those monetary amounts have increased this year. To find out how to nominate a principal, visit henricocitizen.com, click under Education, and look for this article. Also today on henricocitizen.com, you can find out how some of your favorite local restaurants have fared during their most recent health department inspections. Click on Dining to view our Henrico Restaurant Watch. And you can also see what's going on in your community with our weekly Henrico Crime Report. Click under News and then on Crime. Sad news from GRTC yesterday, which announced that a bus operator has died from complications of COVID-19. John Thrower, 49, was admitted to a local hospital in mid-August and died September 23rd. He had been a driver with GRTC since early 2015. He last worked August 15th. He's survived by his wife and son.
Every 12 minutes, a Virginian dies from an opioid overdose.
Every 12 minutes.
Opioid overdoses are on the increase in Henrico. Yes, the opioid epidemic is still impacting residents in Henrico.
But you can help.
To find out what you can do, go to bouncebackhc.com.
That's bouncebackhc.com. Knowledge is power, including learning about naloxone. That's naloxone, which can temporarily reverse the toxic effects of an opioid or heroin overdose.
Get informed, get help, save a life.
Go to bouncebackhc.com. That's bouncebackhc.com.
To equip yourself with the knowledge to help our residents and the community of Henrico County against the opioid epidemic.
Knowing what to do will allow you to be prepared to save a life. Go to bouncebackhc.com today.
That's bouncebackhc.com or call 804-727-8515.
That's 804-727-8515. Directly for substance abuse services.
This message is sponsored by Henrico Area CSB Prevention Services.